Sweet Dreams is a satire about the last days of the colonial occupation of the Dutch in Indonesia. So we see a family, and at the beginning of the film the patriarche of the family dies, and then everybody is left to their own devices. And it's sort of a cat and mouse game for who is going to have the power. Well, I mean, it is a period film, but it's not a very conventional period film. So it has very playful tone, and I didn't want to look at the past and just look at the dark pages of history and say, okay, that was a bad time, and now we live in the white pages of history, and now everything is good. I really wanted to make something like a surrealist bridge to the past. So to do that, I used very contemporary film language. And I think this is something that resonates with an audience, because we are not looking at a film, you know, back then and about difficult topics. We are actually looking at a mirror to contemporary times. So I would say the film is a satire. There's a lot of dark humor in the film. And when I was doing the research for the film, I was reading a lot of colonial literature from between 1850 and 1920. And I stumbled upon this book written by this Hungarian writer, Sendijarević, who somehow he ended up working on a plantation in Sumatra. And in his book, that is called From Jungle to Plantation, he describes you know, his life there. And this book is really like something like a fever dream. You know, you feel the heat, you feel the madness, you feel the craziness. And when I read that book, I really felt, okay, something about the tone of this book I want to translate to the film. Well, I mean, I'm a big cinema lover myself, and I really love it to see films that have a very precise use of the camera. And I really love to see films where every shot can be a painting in a way. And that's what we wanted to do. We looked at painters like Henri Rousseau, which is of course a French painter. He was very inspirational, and his like primitivist and naive painting style. He was also from that time, from 1900s, and he made all these paintings about, you know, the tropics, the jungle, and very childlike, very colorful. But he never left France. Yeah. So it was also kind of a dreamlike vision, and so we used these paintings in the film. I wasn't looking for a certain kind of psychological realism. You know, the film is a bit of, we have a bit of a surrealist approach to these times, and you can also see that in the acting or in the way that I approach the characters. It was very clear for me from the beginning that it was going to be an ensemble film. And an ensemble film also gives you that opportunity to have a bit more freedom, because when you follow only one character, then sometimes you want to go deeper and deeper into some kind of psychology. But we wanted to steer away from that, also to be able to just look at the system and not only the thoughts of one person in that. And it also gave us the opportunity to go to a certain kind of abstraction. And that way the characters could have some kind of archetypical. Well, actually this was also one of the reasons why I wanted to do this film, is because I wanted to know more. Sometimes we make films about things that we know and we want to share, and sometimes we can make a film about something that we don't know about and we can dive into it and learn more. And that's definitely was the case with this film. I wanted to know more about colonialism. I wanted to know more about this position of the Netherlands or Western Europe relating to the rest of the planet. And yes, I did a lot of research. I mean, a lot of colonial literature that I read, for sure. I've spent around 4 months in Indonesia. Part of that I was traveling by myself. And I was, you know, I had my books with me, and I would travel. I traveled through Sumatra, Java, Bali as well, and you know, and sometimes things would happen during my travels that I could also put in the film, you know, because sometimes I would travel with a guide that would not speak English. So we needed to find a language to understand each other without having a common language that we would speak. And that was sometimes, you know, and the heat and everything sometimes would lead to some kind of like absurdity or certain kind of feelings that I would have that I could put in the script as well. So it was a combination of being there and just reading about those times. I think it's magical. It really is, you know, and I wasn't expecting it to be so, because yeah, normally film festivals are not in locations like this. I felt something a bit more spiritual, I think, than normally at festivals, and just things like, you know, walking through the snow to go to the restaurant, or you know, it's just a bit of an adventure as well. Yeah, I like being here.
Alsjeblieft, help ons. Kita racun saja mereka. Ini kesempatan kita. Het zijn vreemde tijden.
Vreemde tijden.
Kalau ada yang bertanya di mana Mister, bilang saja dia sedang sakit.
Die city is dan een prostituee?
Nee, dat is hier gewoon normaal.
Normaal?
Wij zijn hier niet gekomen om te overheersen. Overheersing, dat is banaal.
Selama aku masih hidup, aku yang putuskan apa yang aku lakukan dengan tubuhku.
Siapa yang bicara soal tubuhmu?
Die dingen gaan van vader op zoon. God heeft dat zo bedoeld.
Ja, zo heeft God het godverdomme bedoeld.
Bagaimana kalau semua orang memikirkan diri mereka sendiri?
Dengan begitu, semua orang tak akan terlupakan.
We zijn er niet veilig. Te veel onrust.